Hey guys, it's Nate. Doing the February 21st Auctions Locator newsletter. I'm just going to dive right into it. We had a pretty good week last week on the short week, and I'm looking for some good momentum going into this week. Still a little cautious up here at the highs, and we will see what they end up doing ultimately. I think last week it was kind of whippy and roller coastery with it being OPEX plus a short week. So we'll just kind of dive right in and see what we had last week and for review real quick. So last week we had Alcoa was one of them. It broke out here, got back up into this gap, faded a little bit, but then ultimately on Friday it soared. So depending on the type of action that you took on it, I think it was still a good play. It never really broke down below 21 here, so it should have kept you in. Really nice recovery there on Friday. So AbbVie went double inside week. Nothing there. It's going to be on this week's newsletter. ATVI broke out here on Tuesday, and then it faded. I thought we were going to get some new highs. Ultimately, we did on Tuesday, but then it faded. Broke this upward trend line here, and now it's working itself down to this gap. So if we get into the gap here at 100, I'd look to short it. I wouldn't say a complete gap fill all the way down to 94, but I would at least look for a mid gap fill, or at least down here to 98. BLL, Ball Corp, broke out, like I said, not going to be super sexy. It's one of those ones you might want to put in your IRA or something. Started breaking out here. I'm ultimately looking for a move back to 100. DFS, Discover, had a really nice outside day on Tuesday, faded, pulled back. Judging by all that, that's an outside week. So had a good day on Friday to recover, but outside day on Tuesday, a bullish outside day. So you're thinking, okay, it's gonna work its way back up, and then it gapped down on Wednesday there. So not too great, but would have been a good start to the week if you only took the trade on Tuesday. EA, kind of rough. Technically, it triggered this wick here on Tuesday, triggered this downward trend line, but it barely wicked it. So it broke this one here. Ultimately, it came back up. Just not a whole lot of good action there. FireEye took it down. That was a good one there. Took it down here on Wednesday. Gapped down a little bit on Thursday, and then outside bullish day on Thursday. So I would still look for this one. They couldn't really break below 20. 20 was a good hold. It wicked it here, closed around it here, tested it here. So I'm still ultimately looking for this one to get back up. So just keep that one on your radar. Futu went the opposite direction of what we had planned. I was looking for this gap fill or gap entry here, and then Tuesday it just came out of the woodwork and took off, and then Friday it was a good one there. Inside week this week, so it's not going to be on the list this week, but keep it on your radar. It's wicked here over 200, wicked here over 200. So if we can get a solid push over 200, I look for some good continuation there. Google had a nice day to start out the week here on Tuesday. Little inverted hammer here, and then just kind of went sideways. Still holding it overall. So, but being up here at the highs and stuff, there's some exhaustion. Goldman, that was a nice setup there. So it was the inside day last Thursday, inside day up for Friday, and then we had a gap up right here to the highs, on Tuesday, outside day. Banks were strong all week. Might look for some continuation there this week. Home Depot had a little fake out here, but I knew, I just felt like they were going to get this pre-earnings run into it. So left the alert actually on the inside day. I was a day late, but it still triggered here on Wednesday, and it was a solid day there on Wednesday, and then good continuation on Thursday. So they brought it back down on Friday, but that's a nice 2-day trade right there. Laser gapped up on Monday, or on Tuesday, sorry. Trade went right to 40 like we had thought it was going to, and then came back within the range and was kind of weak all the rest of the week. Had some news on Friday with Apple, but they couldn't do anything with it. Lilly, it went double inside week, so that'll be on this week's newsletter. LVS, this one ultimately, it was pretty quiet all week. You didn't hear much about it, here and there you did, but I really liked it. Solid, quiet action all week. I really like the close up here over 60, and so this week I'll be looking for it to get up here toward into this over 60.88 here. It's been struggling right here. Once we get over 60.88, be a nice push up here to around 66. So just continue to keep that one on your radar there. And that was, I said Peloton was going to be the play of the week. This should have been. Pin, it wicked out here over 120 on Tuesday. Never got going. Inside day up here Thursday into Friday. Double inside week, so we're gonna look at this one again this week. Plug never got going to the upside. The short side worked, filled this gap here, gap down here, but then filled it on Friday. Looks like 50 was a good hold for it. Earnings, if this is correct, this week, so we'll continue to keep an eye on it. Peloton, like I said, I thought it was going to go. My alert never triggered. As you can see, it's still active here. Never triggered to the upside on Tuesday, and it should have played the short on it. Once it broke here, it tested the old breakout of 139.75. This breakout here and here. Came back right to it. Inside day up Friday. We'll look for it as a reversal this week, just kind of off of that 140 area. So just continue to keep an eye on that one. Starbucks, another one that wicked out on Tuesday, and then the short worked on it. SPLK, never triggered the long, barely triggered the short on it. Earnings soon. So likely another gap coming. XL, really nice short play here. Went right to the gap. So if we see continued weakness this week, I'd look for the gap fill down to 16 here. And that's it. So moving on to this week. This week we just have a full week this week, so that's going to be nice. Last full week of February. So we have a lot of inside months forming. So we'll just continue to monitor it. We've had, this past week we had, Square, Home Depot, Cody was our challenge play. GPS got back in the gap, and it did well on Friday, and then, we had Las Vegas Sands there. This week, there's some economic data coming, so you've got the consumer confidence, new home sales, durable goods, so a lot of good economic data this week, so just keep that on your radar. Earnings, I'm looking at Home Depot, Square, Nvidia, Jumia, Lowe's, Rocket, CRM, Moderna, a bunch of big names: Beyond, Nikola, Virgin Galactic, so Airbnb. So a lot of big names this week. So just look at those for your org plays, DraftKings. So a lot of good stuff this week. So we'll have a lot of reactions to play this week. So looking forward to some more earnings this week. So we got AbbVie again. So this week I'm going to do a video a little bit different. I'm just going to go over the charts rather than going over everything up here. You guys are able to see that. So going into the charts, so AbbVie, Kathy with ARC was buying a ton of it this past week. It was pretty tight here. Continue to hold this 101, 102 area. Really liking it outside or inside the outside day, but still hasn't broke 106.75. So we break this 107 area here. I'm going to look forward to take out this trend line, work up towards 110 at least. So I think we're going to see some good action with that this week. I've got this trend line here, but and maybe under 104 I'd short it, but I wouldn't look for it to go under 102, 101 too much. It held here. You have a small little resistance here, this area. So at least 100 should hold nonetheless. So just be careful shorting it too much, especially with how much emphasis people put on the ARC buys. She bought a lot this past week, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it really take off this week. Amazon had a really crappy day on Friday. Broke out of this little downtrend here early in the week. Had this inverted hammer and really bounced back Wednesday and Thursday, and then it just had a really crappy day. This is a minus 78 points. So there is a small gap down here, and then if you really look at it, it's overall it's pretty tight. It's pretty tight in this area. So you see how it just keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So something's got to give here. I don't know if it's a split. I don't know if it's what it is, but something's got to give soon. Really, I would look for it over this 30. Really over 33, 38 here. We've talked about 33.50 in the past. Here, all of this. So this 33.50 area is a big area. So thought we were going to get the push here, couldn't get it. So if it gets back over 33.38, look for 33.50 and then 3400. Below this, I look for 3200, 3145, and or 3175, and then 3150, 3145 area to fill this gap. Costco, this one's been seeing a lot of flow lately. So kind of, they do have earnings in 2 weeks, and not this upcoming week, but the following Thursday, which March 4th. So held this 350 area here, has somewhat of a, depending on how you draw your broadening formations here. So it's been coming up to the middle of it, pushing down, coming up, pushing down, pushing down. So I don't know if we get a bounce here, but I like this. I like how it's held 350. So I'm looking for a push up over this 358 area, 360, 365 is what I'm looking for this week. eBay had a good earnings gap here. It held. So now we're looks like a double inside week here. So outside bearish day on Friday, still holding this 61, 62 area here. So as long as that area holds there, I'd look for it to make a push higher. This is all-time highs up here with this, so maybe they're just taking some profits here. Volume's kind of tapered off. Following all of this, earnings and stuff, so they're tapered off. I'm sorry. So I'm looking forward to, just for them to take a little break here, do their pause. Maybe we can get, a break up over 63.50, work up here towards 65 or so. On a break of, 61.75 or so, I'd look forward to at least get down to this gap. Maybe down here to around 60. I don't know if they get a complete gap fill, but possible. Lily, like I said, double inside week, holding 200. The options got a little bit better this week for March. I know last week I'd only put the February monthlies on there just because they were the ones that had the best spreads and everything. So I actually put the March monthlies on there. They seem to be a lot better, a lot more open interest now. So I'm a little intrigued there. So as this gap here, it broke this upper trend line this past week, but it never broke 200. So nothing actually triggered on that. So if it does break 200 this week, I'm going to look for it at least down to 195, potentially down here to this gap fill or gap entry at 194. So that's what I'm looking at this week. I would like to see it hold, get up above 205, and then over 208.22, make a run at 210, 215, 218. McDonald's, we had this breakout here on this downward trend line the week prior, went inside that week, so now we're holding. Had a crappy close on Friday. Got this little descending trend line here. As long as it holds this base around 212, should hold up pretty well. If this breaks, going to look for a move down to 210, 207.50, and then hold 206. Ultimately, if it breaks under 205, wouldn't be surprised to see it back down here at 200. So that's what I'm looking at this week on McDonald's. Not sure. It's been, it was pretty tight throughout all this. We finally got our breakout here. Now it's stalled out again. So not looking for a huge move, but there's something that will likely end up giving us a play there. Penn, once again, it went double inside week. We had our old breakout here over 120. It wicked, went inside day up, Friday, held this upward trend line here. So I like how it held this trend line, and it's working its way back up. So now I raised the alert and trigger area to just over 122. Then I'd like to see it move to 125, 130, and higher. So not really a whole lot there to dwell on. Continues to hold this. We break out 125, 130. So that's what I'm looking at there. Back to Penn real quick. DraftKings reports Friday, so just keep that in mind. If DraftKings runs up this week, this has the potential to run with it. If you are in, or potentially would get out prior to DraftKings reporting on Friday. Just food for thought there. Purple. This one's been a good one to us. We had our breakout here on this inside day, outside the inside day here. And, back in December, this was a huge move for us. So that was really good. So now we're looking at it here, it's just continued to run up, double, it seems to be a fan of double inside days, double inside day up, double inside day up. So now we're trying to break out over this 40 area, tried here, and then all these wicks here. So I'd really like to see it make a solid push here over 40. get up to 42, 45 ahead of earnings next month. Continues to hold this trend line. You can almost connect these two trend lines here. So it's just in an upward move. Might be one of those ones that you put in, a few bucks and some common shares and just let it work for you rather than you working for it here. Redfin, with home sales this week reporting and stuff, this could be a good play. 100 magnets in play. Had a nice inside day and up on Friday. I mean, this is a nice candle, so almost 12% candle there. Not 100% sure if these earnings is true. It is true. They do report this week. So it is what it is with that. I would like to see a nice little pre-earnings run. I don't know if I'd hold through earnings. They're on the 24th. So that puts us on Wednesday. They are actually after the market on Wednesday. So we've got 3 full days to play this one. I wouldn't be surprised to see them run it up to 100 going into earnings. So we can take this play this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But I would definitely be out before the close on Wednesday just to be safe. I do like this 100 magnet, especially with how it closed Friday. I think that was a solid indicator of what's to come this week. So with home sales this week and earnings, I would definitely be out. It would be more of a day trade for me. Sono, gaps and gaps and gaps. Gap here got filled, gapped up here on earnings, gapped up again here, gapped up here on earnings, holding this earnings gap, liking it. All-time highs here from that earnings reaction at $37.99. So we're working our way up to it again. I look to go long here over around $37.50, more for 38, and then ultimately 40. I think if we break new highs here, we could see a fast run to at least 40. UNH, I put a tweet out on Friday after the close, and I thought it was interesting that Anthem, United Healthcare, Cigna, and Humana. So Anthem and United Healthcare, they both went inside week. Cigna almost went inside week, and Humana, you can't get much tighter than that. So I think something's brewing here with some healthcare names. Just something to keep an eye on. You've got this downward trend line forming. Nice little base right here. Filled this little gap here. Got a tiny gap here. But this is an old breakout area. So here and here, here. So I think that's, found some support in this area. Coming off a nice downtrend. Wouldn't be surprised to see a big move to get back up here to around the 350 area. It's not uncommon that it can do it. So, like I said, with all these healthcare names going either inside week or super tight otherwise, I think something is about to happen here with a lot of the healthcare names. So just keep those on your radar. Not looking for too much out of it. If it breaks this, I'm not looking for a move all the way down here to 300, but it could be a decent short. But I also think that the long play over this trend line and out of this downtrend here, because that's a pretty lengthy downtrend, that we could see a fast move to at least 340, if not 350. So that takes care of my inside week setups, and going to my other setups. This was an inside week last week, a line, nice little flag here, got partially in this gap. Pretty expensive stock, but didn't do much following that inside week, barely took it down. It's holding this 600 area. So I'm looking for a move back over 600. If we can get over 600, then I look for it to get over this high of 634.46. So around 635 is what I'm thinking here. If we can reconfirm 600, break out here, and then get up over 635, work our way up to 650. Really under this low here of 584, I look for this gap to get filled down to 560. Boeing, at the time I made my chart and my newsletter today, I did not hear about the news of planes falling apart in the sky, but apparently that was a thing today, and I saw some footage and some pictures of those parts. I believe it was over Denver. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that come the open on Monday. But I really liked how it closed on Friday. Really, all week tested my old breakout area of 216.60. And then it made a really solid push on Friday, and I really liked how it closed. So this open gap above up here, that tested it here, just over 240. So not out of the question that it could get up here, but I think it is out of the question based off of that news from today. So we'll see what type of reaction they have on that on Monday. But I did suggest in the Discord on Friday that I would look to swing, this was on Friday, to swing next week's 226, 220 calls. So we'll see if that paid off. Timing was a little unfortunate with those parts, but coming off the plane today. But just one of those things, I guess. All right, so Fubo earnings, not this week, but next week, first week of March. High short interest, gap filled here, gap filled here, gap filled on the wick here. Little downtrend, holding steady right here. Looking for a little earnings run here. You guys know I talk about a pre-earnings run a lot. I talk about it a lot because it happens a lot. Earnings soon, plus high short interest, and I think we run a little bit. So looking for that this week. I really like to see it clear 45. If we can clear 45, even 45.50 just to be safe, then I would look for 48, 50, 52. You get over 52, and we can make a solid run back to 60. So I really look for 45.50 to really confirm this breakout. Anything under 42 here, and I would look for a short back to 40. Western Digital, terrific breakout ever since our breakout here over 60.68. Not only did we fill this gap, but we've just continued on. Just a tremendous move. Now we're looking at 72, which was January 2020 highs. So we're basically at 52-week highs. And counting. So 72 is going to be a good resistance area, and then the next resistance area would be around 75. That's this area here, here, and here. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at a move to 72 this week, and then if it can push to that, then 75. There has been a bunch of flow in that one this past week or so. So there was continued bull betting on Friday. So we'll see what happens with it, but it's just been a solid run. I noticed it in Intel has been moving pretty well, so just keep an eye on those. I think there's some definite movement there amongst both of those. So that's really all I have is other setups. But here is, I want to show this chart on Anthem really quick. What I was talking about with UNH. So this is pretty tight. Inside week, inside day, holding 285. Like to see a push over 300. Small gap here. Back to 310 is what I would like to see finish filling this gap here. Here was another inside week that I liked. Pretty tight. Earnings soon. And one that we caught back here in December for over. I think I closed it out at like 25% over that small swing there. So that was a good one there. Pretty tight. As long as it holds 30, I think it should be okay. Then look for a move over 35, and then just continue higher here. Mastercard, as you can see, it's pretty tight range here. Forget about this area here. If you just draw a straight line over here, this is all pretty tight. So it's just kind of bouncing back and forth. Not a whole lot here. Had a gap up last week, filled that gap. Not much there. Like I said, not going to be on the newsletter, but I just want to kind of go over a couple charts that I was looking at. Shop, I had this Browning formation. I drew these 2 points here, back here, a long time ago, back in July last year. So just kind of went up and down throughout it, and then tested the top of it here, pulled back on earnings. Technically it's an honorary double inside day because both of these candles are inside this candle here, so it's also an inside week. So would like to see it test and close above 1500 this week. That's kind of what I'm looking at. If we break 1360, then I'm looking for a move back down to at least 1300 or lower. Potentially 1280, which would be this old breakout area here. And Visa, it was an inside week, pretty tight here, testing this old gap area. It's an old start to a gap, so you had support here, here. So found support again. So as long as this area holds, potential to go double inside week this week. Faded pretty hard on Friday after this outside day. On Thursday, this 203, 204 area breaks, I'd look for a move back to 200. And that's it. So that's really all I have. I don't have much else. It's a full week. Last week, February. I think we've had a pretty good start to the year. Had a good January. Had a good February so far. We've had some trials and errors, but I think overall I'm pretty happy. I just things have been a little bit quieter in the Discord, but a lot of people are working right now, and I'm glad that like Mel and Randy, you guys got your power on, and they're in Texas, so and you guys stayed safe throughout all that. Jeff came back on Friday, and Brandon was in there on Friday, so it's good to have the old crew back, and everybody calling out. PDX was great stepping up this week, calling out a bunch of calls throughout the week, so I appreciate everybody's help all week. If you have any questions about the newsletter, give me a holler, and I'm looking forward to another great week. Have a good one, guys.